Greg McElroy, let's jump in. August 30th, it's as big as a start to the college football season as anybody can remember. Texas versus the Ohio State. The Ohio State has just named a new starting quarterback. Tell me about this individual, please, Greg McElroy.
Well, Julian Sayin he started his career at Alabama. Nick Saban retires. He transfers to Ohio State. He's had a ridiculous pedigree. Really, really talented young man, throws a beautiful football. The big question with Ohio State is really about decision-making. They have such good players, such good personnel, really all over the field. A running back, a wide receiver, Jeremiah Smith's the best player pound for pound in college football by a mile at wide receiver. They have a really good foundational center along the offensive line. They just need a guy that's not going to turn it over because they are breaking in a few new pieces on defense. They're going with the redshirt freshman. That, I think, was the biggest holdup and what took so long because Julian Sayin was maybe trying a few things early in camp that he probably shouldn't have been trying. And when you have Texas week one, you don't have the luxury of kind of learning on the job. You got to be ready to roll week one. But it sounds like in the last 7 days, he's kind of separated himself from Lincoln Kienholz, who was a junior, had been in the system for a while. And he now has the highest ceiling by a mile of those that were involved in the quarterback competition. So it sounds like they're kind of banking on the future, but the fact that he won the job outright in fall camp might have you feeling pretty confident about what he might be able to do to Texas.
New parts on defense for the Buckeyes, the defending national champions. That also includes a new defensive coordinator as well. It's good that they have potentially the best player in college football on that side of the ball in Caleb Downs, who I think we're going to hear his name quite quickly next April in Pittsburgh. What about that side of the ball for Ohio State, Greg?
It should be really good. I mean, they bring in an experienced defensive coordinator that has coached at all levels. And Matt Patricia, guy's got a ton of experience. He obviously has been a head coach at the NFL level and has been with Belichick, understands tendencies, and he's got great personnel. They've recruited so well, Rich, that it's, even though there's a huge drop-off in returning production, they have superstars at certain places. They have a superstar that you referenced in Caleb Downs, who, while he might not make your fantasy draft next year as a defensive back, probably a guy that if he played offense, he might be the best player on the field if he played offense. He's just that talented. They have great linebacker play, and they have a very disruptive defensive front, but they're going to be young. And when you are going with a lot of young players, relatively speaking, you're probably going to have a few mistakes. Now, with young players, you have high highs, you have low lows. We've seen it in the NFL, we've seen it in college, we've seen it in high school, it doesn't matter. You just can't allow those lows to get you beat. And while they might run into a hard game against Texas, who does have a lot of returning production, they still, I think, down the road will be playing their best football in November, in December, when it really matters. And with where we've gone from a playoff format, we're now getting to the point where it doesn't really matter how well-oiled you are as a machine in September, but if you're cooking with gas in November, December, January, and you're peaking at the right time, those are the teams that will win the national championship like Ohio State did a year ago.
Okay, and Greg, this is rare for me to call timeout in the middle of an interview because I'm a little confused. Matt Patricia, Chris, he's the new defensive coordinator at Ohio State. Isn't he an offensive coach, though?
Yeah, once upon a time he was an offensive coordinator.
Like a quarterback coach, right? No?
Yeah, I think he was actually the offensive coordinator. Yeah.
Where was that? Where was that?
That was for the Patriots.
Okay. Sorry, Greg, we're back here on the Rich Eisen Show with Greg McElroy. Your expectation level for Arch Manning is what, Greg?
All of our expectation level is through the roof. It's probably unfair, Rich.
Okay.
I mean, you've followed the Manning family for as long as you can remember, I would imagine.
Yep.
My favorite player of all time is Peyton Manning, and that no one will ever. It doesn't matter what Mahomes does from this point forward. Peyton will always be number one. And for me, I have just kind of long expected Arch to be the next guy up in the lineage that is the Manning family. And it's a little unfair because he's a young man that is still going to be starting his first game against quality competition on the 30th of August. We've seen him play start against two teams. That was Mississippi State last year. They had the 126th ranked defense in the country, and against Louisiana Monroe. He also got ample amounts of time against UT San Antonio. So we've never really seen him play against the top tier competition in a significant role in meaningful snaps. Now, he's had situations where he's been utilized with quarterback run and things like that, and he's really athletic. That's what I don't think a lot of people realize with Arch is he's one of the more athletic quarterbacks in the entire SEC. But our expectation level is for him to walk away with the Heisman Trophy. He's just 6-1 right now from an odds standpoint to take home the Heisman. For a guy that's only started 2 games in his career and against lower level competition, that's absurd. And while the name and the recognition and the hopes are really high, there might be some growing pains early in the season. That's to be expected. But right now he's starting here. There's really only one way to go before we level out and come back to reality. So I think he's going to be amazing. I really believe that. But at the same time, if there are a couple struggles early on, I'm not going to panic because that's to be expected for a young starter that has never really been in this situation before.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.